I know you guys must be pissed off. Say, Rowan in the last previous podcast just said we are going to be right back. We are going to transition into the forward line of Manchester United. I mean, what was that about? Why are you coming out with a video at this time, especially 2 days afterwards? Well, that's just my bad. That's my bad. But I'm going to transition into the forward line real quick, and we kill momentum. But momentum can heal. Um, so we have Anthony Martial, Daniel James, Marcus Rashford, and Mason Greenwood. These are our four main strikers, or four forwards, I should say. The main striker is obviously. Oh, let's add Igalo to that. That's Igalo until the end of the season. So we have Tony Martial, Igalo, Rashford, James, and Greenwood. That's five. That's five. And how I see it, the forward line should be, like I said in my previous podcast, having a midfield three of Scott McTominay, Bruno Fernandes, and Paul Pogba. That would be the three midfielders. And for the front three, this is this is how my front three would look. Daniel James. Right, I'll come back to this position. Marcus Rashford. And either say I don't want to I don't want to turn or I should say this now. But what is known if you're a football or a sports fan for that matter, known as bandwagon. Bandwagon. Saying that we're like for example, the World Cup was a couple years ago. Couple years ago. And let's say because Netherlands didn't go to the World Cup, you were Netherlands, you were a hardcore Netherlands fan. They say, yeah, we love Robin, we like Van Persie, we like Snyder. Well, unfortunately, that whole that's known as the Holy Trinity that die out. So we go support with Netherlands. Man, I go start support France, man. Yeah, I love France, man. I love Mendy, I love Pogba, I love Kante, I love Mbappe. I'm a big France fan, fam. And then all of a sudden, France win the World Cup. So yeah, I'm a France fan from the start, from the beginning. Yeah, that's known as a bandwagon fan. Bandwagon fan. So in terms of the striker I would play up top would be I can't put Marcus Rashford up top because Rashford I mean he's not bad up there but that's not where I want him to play. He should play on the left wing. That's Marcus Rashford's best position as of late. Up top I would either Marcelo Gallo or Greenwood, maybe. Nah. Yeah, I'll stick with Anthony Martial. Yeah, I'll give Marcel the benefit of the doubt, make him stay up front. But in terms of firework rate and tenacity to press from the front, I would have Igalo because Igalo has presence. Igalo is speaking of presence. Someone said on Twitter, and I have it right here. And I'll go to the name of the Twitter account. The name of it is um, General, and this is what it said. Marcel is United's number 9 for the foreseeable future. He has the ability to do such as I'm going to listen right now. Gifted technically, gifted technically, strong physique and framework, high IQ passing and interplay, clinical 1v1, also has started pressing a lot. And lastly, well, this is just some basic. He mentioned somewhere in a third, which I'm not going to get into. And the last one is class link up play. I mean, that's his opinion. I ain't going on the person. because Martial is not a f- and actually replied back. I retweeted and said, strong physique and framework for what? For being lazy? And I mean, because my thing is Martial is not one that has physical prowess. Like his presence isn't one. I mean, he can head a ball. I mean, that's what he did with Mata's assist some weeks ago. But like on a main frequent level, mm, he's not that kind of player. He's not. I mean, he's bulked up. He looks more. I wouldn't say chubby, really. He put on some frame. Like I heard Lukaku was saying in the last 2 years that he was going to bulk up to play up top. And anybody who have seen Lukaku, I mean, Lukaku don't need to bulk up. Lukaku is bulked up already, but that's what he was saying after the World Cup, saying his coach thinks that he needs to bulk up to play at a very top level to get more goals. And I bring up that to say Martial is not one to, in terms of framework, he's not a target man by any stretch. He's more or less say that he's more of a Lacazette type of striker that will drop and link up play with the other wingers that would run in behind him. I think that's the type of striker he is. In terms of dribbling and high IQ, nah, bro, I ain't buying that. I ain't buying that. Next, yeah, so I would have Igor coming on like on the 60th minute because I think he's more of a, a, a racehorse that can press from the front. He has a high work rate. So that's my take. No, that's not my take fully. Sorry. In terms of Rashford on the wing now, Rashford best potential as a player is on the left wing. Like when Rashford cuts in, he can shoot. He's very deadly with his right foot. He's very deadly on free kicks. As of late, he's been scoring free kicks. He's been hitting the target. Again, I alluded to this in my first video that he's very young and he's naive. So, in terms of beating low block teams, it might take him a while to master that. Um, and in terms of Daniel James, I mean, sorry, Daniel James, but there are a lot of United supporters saying that they would rather have Jadon Sancho from Dortmund to chip in at the right wing because James' game is limited. Because I'm saying to myself that if Daniel James was like 28 and most players that played wing, of course there are a few exceptions, but by and large there are some players that when they play wide and they are known as pacey personified wingers, they just gone to crop. Theo Walcott anyone? Aaron Lennon anyone? Like their football IQ is not. I mean, like Theo Walcott, not to get on his case, but Theo Walcott is known as a player that would get offside like 3 or 4 times a game. And like their IQ, not to go in on Daniel James, but he's been solid this season. Although he hasn't scored a goal in the Premier League since August, but United can do better. And in terms of Mason Greenwood, Mason Greenwood, he has exceeded expectations from us Manchester United supporters. We are not. Well, I can speak for myself. I'm not one of those fans that would say, "Hey, he's from the academy and he needs to bang like 3 goals in a game, get assists of the out of the yin yang. He needs to start beating players." Like I'm objective and realistic in that sense. So After the start to the season, I would say he's exceeded expectations. Nothing more, nothing less. And that would segue me into the Chelsea game on Monday against Manchester United. Manchester United, if we're talking about the records at the bridge, Stamford Bridge, Manchester United, it hasn't, it, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like hell for them, but at the bridge for Manchester, it's not been the best ground to play at. I wouldn't say the atmosphere has anything to do with it. It's just that United has a poor record at the bridge. They really do. Like I can't really recall the last time. I mean, we score goals there. Don't get me wrong. But in terms of winning there, mm, mm, I mean, hold up. I think Manchester United beat them at their home when Mourinho was in charge. Yeah, Marcel getting 2 goals. I think I might be wrong on that. Yeah, I think that's the last time. Yeah, yeah. That was actually two well taken goals by Tony as well. Um, so my thoughts on it is, let's get into Chelsea. Chelsea is in the top four. I think they're in the top three position or top four, alongside with Tottenham. Um, Chelsea and under the reign of Frank Lampard has been on and off in terms of playing top teams. There have been Chelsea fans on Twitter saying that Lampard has been tactically naive. Like for example, when they were playing Arsenal at the bridge, Chelsea could have won that game. They could have won that game, but they were complacent, they were naive, and that led to them losing a 1 goal lead. The deficit was cut down. Like it was 2-1, and then in a couple of minutes it was 2-2. Yeah. So players that to look out for Chelsea. Mm, Kepa is just a. I mean, Kepa Kepa is a bang average goalkeeper. In terms of the defense, Rudiger, he's been solid. He's been solid along with who's been playing along with him in midfield in the defense. Tomori, Tomori has been solid. In midfield, we have to watch out for Jorginho, Kante, and Kovacic. I mean, Kante has been in the best of form for a couple seasons now since not Angola, but Antonio Conte left Chelsea. Like when Sarri came into Chelsea, he used him as a somewhat of an advanced midfielder, and he wanted Jorginho to play as the number six as a defensive midfielder. So my thought is that Conte he might show up on the day, but we have to be vigilant and watch out because, alright, for example, Jorginho, I'm pretty sure that Chelsea is going to have most of the possession of the ball, possession, and Jorginho is going to be the epicenter of that. Like he's going to control the pace of the game. Going back to midfield, I was talking about in my previous podcast, and then in the forward line, no more Eden Hazard. Hooray! We have Pulisic, we have Batshuayi, who doesn't start for Chelsea. Like I thought Batshuayi was going to replace Diego Costa. I mean that kid cost like 30 million, and he's a bench warmer. Like I don't even think he's played over 50 games for Chelsea in all competition. I mean he probably has, but it's not enough. And plus, even if he's played those amount of games, the amount of goal he's getting in terms of ratio is just I mean, I don't care because I'm not a Chelsea fan, so I'm just, but I'm saying that's a waste of money. And you're talking about we, Manchester United, waste money on players. All right, okay. Um, and of course, Tommy Abraham. The, I mean, in terms of goals, he's a threat, but I think Maguire and Lindelof can lock him down. I really believe that. And who else plays on red? William. Mhm. Willie Bonks, if you're Jamaican. Um, yeah, William Borgas. Like a couple years ago or last year, Jose Mourinho, actually 2 years ago, but Jose Mourinho wanted William to come to Manchester United in a deal to transfer to like kick over Marcel to Chelsea. And Edward Ward and the Glazers and a lot of United fans was like saying, nah, bro, William can stay at his club. We don't. Because Willian is a player that would suit the style of play of Mourinho. He's over 30, he's experienced, has high work rate, would slam himself in a wall to do anything for Mourinho. So that's the kind of player that gets him. But yeah, I'm happy enough that Marcel has stayed and sticked with Manchester United. Um, so back to Willian. Willian is a hot and cold player because you can never tell when Willian is coming with a brace or in a banger form. Willian is like that type of player. Like in 2 games he can be brilliant, and in the next, I don't know, 3 4 games he can go warm. Or lukewarm. Um so that's my take on Chelsea. In terms of Manchester United, like I said previously, United hasn't had the best of records at the bridge, but with a front three of Martial, Greenwood, I think Igalo might start. Like I'm gonna give my starting 11 for that game. David De Gea in the goal, Wan-Bissaka. I'm using a 4-2-3-1. Despite me saying in the previous podcast, I think Ole is going to use a 4-3-3 to get the best out of the midfield and forward. Realistically, he might go with a 3 at the back again, but I'm going to say he's going to use a 4-2-3-1 with Wan-Bissaka as right back, Maguire and Lindelof at the center as centre half. Brandon Williams might start. I don't think Luke Shaw will start. And if he does start, I think he will start in a back five of the three centre backs on the left side. Um, your midfield is Fred, Bruno, and Andres Pereira. That's my midfield three. That would include the number 10. So as a double pivot, it would be Bruno Fernandes, unfortunately, unless there is a revival for Ole to say, alright, boom, let's put him on number 10. Probably he's not the best playing deeper. Speaking of that, I'll just I'm going to get into that a little bit. Um it's going to be a long, lengthy podcast, but let's go with it. I'm all for it. I'm all yours. Um and Fred at the base in the double pivot and Andres Pereira as the number 10. And on the right wing is Daniel James or Greenwood. Most likely Greenwood and Daniel James on the left wing and Martial up top. Martial up top. And of course, Seagal will come on in the second half if needs be. Um, yeah. I was watching football in the 90s because I'm a 90s babe. Like I was born in the 90s, but football was really renowned then in the 90s. When you think of Zidane, Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo from Brazil, Um, was Maldini, um, Baresi. He played in that time. I think it was the 1980s, but I wasn't here to say. Who else? Batistuta, Crespo, and all of those players. Like in the 90s, all of those players played in the Serie A. Like Serie A was known as the best league at the time in the 90s. Like you would say, or R&B or rap music or hip hop was known to be the best renowned music in the 90s. That's I guess that's why I'm blessed as the 90s baby because it was known as the best time of this era. Um, maybe. So I mentioned Zidane. When Zidane came to Juventus, Zidane was playing deep as a defensive midfielder. Again, I wasn't watching football at the time, but I watched a few documentaries that said Zidane played as a defensive midfielder. Like somebody said, my Zidane, Zinedine Zidane. Nah, Ron, you're crazy. You're talking crap. Nah, he actually played defensive midfielder. And he wasn't, of course, he wasn't playing at his best. Like at Bordeaux, he was playing as a number 10, if not as a second striker. When he went to the old ladies in the 90s, he was playing as a defensive midfielder. And a lot of people were saying, yo, take him out of defensive midfield, play him as a number 10. And voila, that's the Zidane we know today. More of a flair. Again, if you're French, more known as panache. That's the number 10 Zidane was. Scoring goals, passing players, beating them. That was his oyster playing as a number 10. That was his playground. He knew how to master the number 10 position. And I feel and I bring that up to compare that with Bruno. If Bruno plays as a number 10 at Manchester United, that's where he's going to get far. And he's going to I'm not saying he's going to play every game good or great, but of course he's going to get his mid patches, but by and large he's going to that's yeah, he's going to play well in that position. So my prediction for that match on Monday, unfortunately, I don't think De Gea is going to get a clean sheet. Again, I'm hope to be proven wrong, but that's just my opinion. So I would say Chelsea won, Chelsea won, Manchester United. Okay, I'm going with a 2-2 draw. Chelsea 2, Manchester United 2. Post your predictions in the comment section below. It could be a win, it could be a loss. We don't want any just be real, just be authentic. What's your honest opinion on the game on Monday against Chelsea at the Bridge? Is it going to be a loss? Is it going to be a win? Comment down your predictions in the comment section below and enjoy the rest of your weekend and I'll shout you in the next podcast. Peace.